Afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Today, I am joined by my co-host, Mike, who's actually on time for once, and the wonderful Jack Rice from your DMS. Jack, nice to see you today. We'll go through the session we're going to talk to you about, which is all about mental health, and some exciting news in a sec. But very briefly, introduce yourself before we start the rest of the show.
So yeah, thanks, Jamie. Thanks for having me on, and hi, Mike. So my name's Jack Wright from Your DMS. We manage, we primarily, our business is data and document management. We deal with a host of businesses across the UK, based in Swindon. And yeah, we're looking forward to discussing what we've put in place over the summer, and most recently with our mental health for both our employees and customers. So.
Lovely, thank you, Jack. And we're looking forward to getting into that in a second, as it's a big area of focus for us at the association this year and into next year. So we'll be back with you in 1 second, Jack. So, Mike, as always, I'll start with you. What's going on in the world of partners? Now, obviously, we're going to have to mention that one of our partners are on the call with us, Jack, from Your DMS. So that's the first thing. So thank you for being with us, Jack. Anything else in the world of partners that you want to let us know about this week, Mike?
Yeah, as we're pulling together the conference lineup, we've had a couple more partners who are very keen to promote what they're able to do to help businesses move forward, especially as we move out of COVID. So more on that in the coming weeks. And I think I may have secured a headline sponsor for the conference. So just waiting for the I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed, but hope to be able to announce that shortly.
Lovely, thank you. So yeah, so on that basis, the conference is shaping up really nice. 19th of October, just so nobody forgets. I think, I don't know about you, Jack, but I think the world seems to be coming back to work, probably today, actually. I think, let's be honest, the last 2 years have been not the greatest for everybody. And I think August was literally everybody just went, you know what, we're either going to do staycations, we're going to go and visit, European locations, wherever that would be. And today it feels as though people are starting to get back into the office a little bit more. I'm getting a lot more interaction. The ticket sales are pinging, hopefully, every hour for the conference, which is exceptional. So I'm getting that feeling that people are coming back to some normality. People are starting to engage more. So the conference, by the way, this year is, wow, what a lineup. We're just about to announce, actually, Jack, just so for your benefits, the third keynote speaker. So we've already announced two. So Brenda Edwards, I'm sure you're a big fan of Loose Women, Jack, the ITV show. Brenda Edwards, for those who don't know, not only is an exceptional panelist on Loose Women, but before she was, the fame and the fortune, she was an accounts payable manager for 25 years. So Brenda's going to join us for a session during the conference, which will be great. And we've got other keynotes which we're going to announce over the next few weeks. But today, I'd like to announce also that the world-renowned AP guru, that is Mary Schaefer, will be joining us again for this year's conference. Mary's agreed to host a panel discussion for us, which is entitled, so don't get this wrong because she always shouts at me if I do, Building Confidence, Diversity and Inclusion. And the whole topic really is, myself and Mary have been on a bit of a mission for the last, 2 years or so, to really raise the profile and the confidence of accounts payable teams and people. We've done our Rockstar program, which is behind me somewhere over here. And that went exceptionally well. We've got AP managers for the first time, really wanting to promote themselves and get themselves out there. But the panel that Mary's going to host for us this year is all about the diversity that can be within AP teams, the confidence area, and also how you build that feeling of inclusion within your teams, so that when you are then promoting yourself within your business or externally, you've got that feeling. And I think it links quite nicely into some of the stuff we're going to talk with yourself in a little while, if that's all right, Jack.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's the announcement. So Mary's joining us again. She's always exceptional, a very close personal friend of mine. Mike, you've spoken to many a time. Her sessions are exceptional. And the great thing is you haven't got my ugly mushroom voice to hear on this one. Mary's hosting it, Mary's running it. And, the panel themselves will announce next week the full panel that's going to be on there. But they are a global panel. So the people from all around the world that will be talking on there, they're leaders in their own right. And the exceptional thing is our audience and our members love panel discussions. Every time we do a conference, whether we do an event or a conference, the panel discussions always get the most interaction. Mike, anything to say on that?
No, it's fantastic. And obviously we've got such a developed community now that we recognize in the influencer community. And obviously we're taking nominations, I believe, for the top 100 influencers. So obviously if you've got skills and you're not represented in our community and you want to put yourself or a colleague forward, please do, because we're constantly on the lookout for people who are passionate about AP, obviously experienced, and keen to develop maybe, an opportunity to share some of that knowledge in forums like this, where we create opportunity for people to come on and chat and tell us what they've been up to, but also, to provide real insight in terms of the journeys that maybe they've been on personally or through their business. So, yeah, I love the panel discussions. And Mary, as ever, is ruthlessly concise about a process, and but in terms of her style, she's really she just brings it to life, and it's really it's an honor to have her involved again this year.
It's got one of those voices that you just listen to. It's just a perfect voice. You can listen to for hours. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jack. And the exceptional thing about Mary is, and you can see from Kat, who's just joined us, said a comment in, everybody just loves Mary. She's got so much experience in accounts payable. And I've worked in accounts payable near enough all my life, in different ways and different areas. And you can always tell people that have actually worked in and done the job. They come out, the passion comes out, and their experience does also. So it's very difficult for people that never worked in the industry to try and comment and become a world-renowned guru. So Mary will be exceptional as always. So look out for that panel. It's later on in the day, because Mary obviously is going to join us live via a stream. So we have to allow her to at least get up, whatever godly hour it will be, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. But she's always exceptional, brilliant in terms of presenting. And as I say, the panel will be announced next week when we list the full agenda. So have a look out for that, and that'll be out next week. All right. Okay. So as Mike mentioned, last week we announced that the top 100 influencers we're taking nominations. We've had truckloads of people who want to become part of the 100 influencers, and part of that community, the whole role of a 100 influencer is to keep promoting the industry as a whole. So that's to be there for people, to support for their mental health and their well-being, Jack. So you'll be interested in that, but also to give guidance and support as well. So a lot of the time, the influencer community are there to support one another. They have lots of events. They work with each other individually. So not only is that open from last week, but actually as of today, the full list of APA award categories have been announced today. So I'm going to share my screen if the power of technology allows me to do this. So bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep.
Nod. There we go. So the awards, anybody who wants to get on to the conference this year, it's that website there, which is apcon.online, which I assume stands for AP Conference.online. Very small. We'll make sure it's in the show notes below. But let me go through the awards before we, if I click that button, that should do something. There we go. Okay. So on the website, when you go on there, you can actually there's a form here where you can nominate for one of the 10 awards, as you can see here. Pop your details in, put your telephone number, your company details, and then literally up to a 250-word explanation or support of why you want to put either the team, the person, the individual forward for the award. That's all we need at this point. We will then reach out to you, we will contact you, and we'll then go through details of the actual application, and then also how the panel, if you like, the judging panel, will go through that process. So for now, all we need you to do is put your nominations in, fill out the short form, put out which award you want to be put forward for. There are 10. You can apply for all 10 if you wish. There's nothing that you say you can't. But actually, last year, if there's anything to go by, we had a lot of people putting things forward. So I believe that the awards are the last week in September. I think it's the last Friday of in terms of the deadline. So it's the last Friday of September. That's your deadline, which gives us, the panel, best part of 3 weeks to then go through all of the nominations and make sure we've got the right people for the right awards. So without further ado, let me go through the awards very briefly before we jump on to Jack's session. Okay, let me do that. Okay, so the first one is, this is always one of the favorites, the AP Manager of the Year for 2021. You can see clearly details of how to nominate and what it's all about. But it's always it's a hard fought over award, this one. You can imagine with a community of, circa 50,000 online members, AP Manager of the Year is a very popular one. But absolutely, whether you're a manager yourself and you want to self-nominate, or you're a team that love to nominate their manager, make sure you put your manager forward for that one, because it is an excellent award. Last week we had the previous award winner of that, which was Rachel Long. And you know what? Really proudly, she shares that award on the back of her little trophy stash here. I think she's had to move to a new office with the amount of awards that she's won with her team, etc. Then we go on to AP Team of the Year for 2021. Again, if we had our way, we would give this award to every AP team for 2021, if I'm honest, with what they've had to put through. But again, you can clearly see there's a form there. Get yourself and your awards in there as soon as you possibly can. So they're two primary awards. This was always a very popular award. It brought in last year, actually, the Rising Star Award. And this sort of recognises individuals that are coming up through the ranks, people who are very supportive, are looking to make a future career in accounts payable or finance generally. But it's a very, very popular category. So again, look through yourself on the Rising Star Award. Significant team achievements. What can I say? Again, last 2 years, I think everybody's had some form of significant team achievement. That could be a new project, a new system implemented. It could be, that you're going to actually go through a new project or a system upgrade, or it could be, a small project that you're going through in terms of, again, back to Jack's conversation a little while, how you've then mentored, support your teams about, whatever your team are doing collectively to support one another in their well-being and mental health. So it's a loose topic in terms of team achievement, but absolutely it's a really important one for us to recognise teams and their recognition in terms of the industry. The next one is the Employee Engagement Award. And this one is really for the organisations. What we tried to do here is we tried to work with organisations on how they then supported their teams. It could be, during the pandemic that they've allowed teams to, maybe finish early, start a little later. They have events, or it could be that they've invested in their well-being and their, again, mental health. But previous award winners have been people where their businesses have invested in their career developments, supported them with what they want to do, not necessarily all about accounts payable. They might want to move into different areas as well. So this is the Employee Engagement Award is all about the actual organisation that you work for. So again, if you work for a great organisation, you think they deserve an award, make sure you check out the Employee Engagement one. The Leadership Award, Mike, do you want to tell us a bit about that? This is in partnership with Judy and Kevin at the Investors in Excellence.
Yeah, obviously we're working closely with Investors in Excellence now around a 3-core leadership program, looking at leadership development and strategy, and it's a progressive course that is designed to help individuals looking to move their careers forward from obviously senior manager, middle senior manager, forward into maybe more head of or C-suite level roles, and in we've already had a number of candidates, and Judy and I will be looking at that over the next few weeks. But this is a really prestigious award for those who can demonstrate that they understand what it is to be, not just an expert in their own field, but also a leader in their business. And that's obviously key things like, understanding the wider business objectives and stakeholder engagement, and looking outside of their own function and collaborating with others. So we'll be giving some great consideration to who deserves that award this year.
Brilliant, thank you, Mike. Right, the Lifetime Achievement Award. The keynote we just announced, Mary Schaefer, she won the Lifetime Achievement Award last year. I'm not sure how we're going to top that one. I've got to be honest with you, Jack. But in terms of deserved winners, there's a lot of people out there. So again, no doubt, if you've got somebody you think that should be put forward for the Lifetime Achievement Award, let us know. If not, the panel will probably go through our database of people that we work with collectively. But again, that was brought around last year. It's a huge award for us to give out to. Mary was last year's successful award winner, and keep your eyes again for that one, because it's a new award, but actually it's something that should be in place. The Digital Transformation Award, should be one that's interesting. Pretty curious to this one, Jack.
Yeah.
So these are effectively teams that have gone through some form of digital transformation, whether that's automation, whether that's anything to do with digital transformation. Last year, again, really successful, really popular category. We had a lot of people during the last 18 months, 2 years, who've had to start going or thinking about the digital transformation of their businesses. So again, hopefully we'll have a whole tranche of people go through that award this year. I can see actually from the nominations already have come through that there's a whole bunch of people putting themselves forward for that. And I'm pretty sure that Jack would probably like to see their names, but we're not going to share that with them.
Jamie, just on that one, just before we move on to the next one, that's actually a category that, unlike many of our other categories, which are team focused and maybe more focused towards our members and wider student body, the Digital Transformation Award, we're interested to hear from companies who've had a really positive experience working with a vendor or a supplier that they feel has really gone out of their way to deliver excellent service. And Jack, this is very much up your street, and I know the team at your DMS are very focused on delivering customer outcomes to the maximum benefit. And it's that type of support and real partnership that we want to try and recognise in here. I'm not saying that a vendor, and you don't need to be a current sponsor or partner of the APA to benefit from this award. We just want to hear about who's doing a good job and why.
Yep, very good. So, and then we have 2 new awards for 2021. So the first award is the Outstanding Contribution Award. It can be a person, a team, an organisation that has delivered far above than expected during the 2021 or 2020 period. The reason for this award is that we found that previously you've got the APA Manager Award, you've got Team Award. This is where individuals or teams have really gone out of their way in terms of what they've done, what they've tried to achieve. So it's a brand new award for us this year. And partners of ours have looked at this and they think it's an excellent award. And I think, what I'd say is that anybody who's looking to put an award forward and you're not sure which one you may fit in terms of which category, definitely look at this one first, because I think it would tick everybody's box in everybody's business. So look at that, look at the details, and again, put yourself forward for that award also. And then the last one, which is just before we hand over to Jack, which is very timely actually, is the Wellbeing for Others. Again, a new award for 2021. That's for a person, a team, or organisation that have demonstrated unwavering commitment to helping others' well-being. Again, this is a really important topic for us at the association for 2021 into 2022. And again, this should resonate with an awful lot of people. So again, check out all of the awards. There's 10 categories in total. We're not looking for war and peace in terms of your nomination. Details about you, your organisation, and some contact details, and then a brief explanation of why you think either the team, the individual, or whoever should deserve a rightly place at our awards this year. And hopefully, when we do the awards next year, we can put dicky bows on, we can have a bit of a celebration and a bit of a party. But this year, as always, we'll make a big deal of it. We'll have as much in the live session that we've got about celebrating the success of teams. So really looking forward to it. Make sure you put your teams forward for this, because it's going to be, as always, the events of the year for us. Right, I will stop sharing there. Mike, I'll hand over to you. Can you introduce Jack and the topic of this week's conversation, please?
Absolutely. Just one comment on the wellbeing and some of the other awards as well. You don't have to be a senior manager. You don't have to even be, too long in your career with a particular organisation to consider nominating someone or being nominated. So please do let us hear about your story, and yeah, you may be a lucky recipient of an award, but you've got to be in it to win it, as they say. And Jack, listen, thanks for joining us. I know we've been working together for through what has been a very difficult time. Trading conditions, obviously a lot of challenges, and And I know you've responded very proactively as a business to make sure all of your clients and customers are well looked after in terms of your commercial delivery. But I understand that you've also personally been on a bit of a journey over the last few months in terms of well-being and what that means practically. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey and some of the lessons that have been learned, and maybe some of the things that others can look out for in terms of, you know, thinking about getting involved and being that go-to person within their business?
Yeah, sure. I mean, over the last 18 months, it's been tough, like you said, for everyone. And I think the Microsoft Teams, Zoom, whatever, the video conferencing has been great for meeting up and on say a Friday or a Thursday, or just have a little catch up with your team who's all working remotely. And we did the same thing, but it wasn't the same. So I think it was a couple of months ago, I put myself on a mental health responder course with the St. John's Ambulance. Only a 1-day course, because it's something I'm really passionate about. We've got a team here of only about 13 employees, but they are male, female, you know, all age groups. You know, we've got apprentices, we've got people that have been with us for 17 years, you know, all walks of life. And it was really important to me that we made sure we catered for everyone and they had someone to go to. Now, we always felt that we provided that as a business, because we're approachable people. We like to think we are. But it's understanding more how people work. So is the workload too much? Is it too little? Because there's both ways. But the course really puts some really good ideas out there about, just to give you as an example, about adding. We've just recently added a pool table in our office, just so to encourage people to get up, play a bit of pool, have a bit of socialising around the pool table. And like I said, it was really important that, from my perspective, everyone is now seemingly talking about mental health and coming to you with problems. But like we said beforehand, Mike, it's a case of how many conversations have you had with someone and go, "Hi, how are you?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm fine, thank you." You? "Yeah, I'm fine." And an end of conversation. You know, it's when that person, sometimes if that person turns around and said, "No, I'm actually not," it's then how does that person deal with it? How do you as an individual deal with someone saying, "No, actually, I'm not fine"? And that was the really important thing for me. So, and again, I could use it. Yes, it's a workplace responder. However, I can use this in personal life too, because it works both ways, you know. So it's really, for me, how I dealt with those, how can I deal with those situations for our employees, which was really important. And like I said, creating that environment. So I made sure that everybody knows who I am, what I've just been on. Really important. Put it on my signature as an example. As again, I was saying earlier, that our customers are now saying to me, "Oh, I noticed you've got mental health workplace responder. How was that?" And we just had a whole 15-20 minute chat about how my experiences could potentially help them just by going on the course. So yeah, it's really helped in that respect.
I think the awareness was the big thing, wasn't it? And part of I suppose maybe as blokes, maybe that's stereotypical, but is it that men these days are less comfortable talking about issues than women? Perhaps so. Perhaps culturally, certain businesses or business functions, you know, maybe finance guys are less effervescent than sales guys, but you know, or, you know, there's things culturally and within each department. I think, you know, the skill of a manager or a leader is the ability to recognize that. And like you said, in terms of making people aware, it just starts a conversation and basically breaks down the barriers to enable people to actually feel okay to talk about stuff that they may not be okay about.
Yeah, and I think there's two things. So there's what we call a mental health episode, which is your typical arriving late for work, not eating, so acting out of character. And by the way, acting out of character could be really over the top or really quiet. I think the stigma around just someone being quiet is completely an oversight, because you can also be the other way. You could be really hyperactive and still be suffering with mental health issues, because that's completely out of character. So knowing your team is important. And then on the other hand, you've got a mental health crisis, which is panic attacks, self-harm, and losing touch with reality, in just as a couple of examples. So they're your more serious sort of, I'd like to say, further down the road, you know. But these people, and like I said, they're coming earlier, so you'll get in. I mean, I coach football teams and stuff, 14, 15-year-olds, and they are. You hear the stories about how they've coped with the pandemic, not just the pandemic, but before the pandemic, you know, and again, having a shoulder to lean on for them, and someone, and the most important thing, having the ability to listen to that person who just says, no, I'm not okay. And I guess the whole stigma is it's okay not to be okay. Well, you're trying to get them out of that, because it's not right in what you're feeling, but let's give you some tools and let's give you some advice to help you out of that. And whether that be through exercise, whether that be through diet, whether that be through work. And like I said, it's not just a typical, oh, let's just go down to the pub for a drink, or let's go have some more time off work, because that could be the worst thing you did for them. You know, they could rely on drink, they could rely on work to actually keep them in a good mental state in the first place. So that they could be your I mean, obviously the drink, obviously not, but the work might actually be keeping them from self-harming. So don't just be very quick to go, oh, just go home then, it's fine, because actually work might be their lifeline. So it's that really taught me a lot. And again, it's understanding your individuals to be able to act upon that. I mean, like I said, we've done putting into place things like counsellor leaflets on the side. So not handing it out, going, if anyone has a problem, just go to these. Well, no, because again, if you call someone in your office and has a conversation about this, everyone else in the office will look at them going, oh, they're in the office talking about something now. And then when you go out, it could be you're looked on worse by your peers. Whereas things like taking someone out for a walk who needs to talk to you, going for a coffee potentially, it's about creating that environment. And also, if they did want to wait behind at the end of work time and collect that leaflet, and nobody knows they've collected that leaflet, then you've helped them in that way. So that's the type of stuff we're implementing here for our staff.
I mean, it's amazing, and all those soft skills, I guess, are covered in the training.
Yes.
And one of the things that we talked about before we jumped on air was that you've got to kind of look after yourself as well in the role. If you're otherwise very capable, but you've taken on the responsibility of being a first responder, and it's now almost your duty of care to your staff or your colleagues or your team or even your friends to be that person who is not afraid to offer the support at the right time, then you've got to be careful not to take on too much and obviously operate within boundaries. Yeah. And one of the things we've got coming up, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a young man called Jack Nolan, is that correct, who's going to be joining us over the course of the next few weeks, who is, well, I think he's one of the youngest coaches, motivational speakers, who through his own personal experiences has developed the skills and the strategies to help young people and not so young people cope with some of these challenges. And as a resource, obviously, we will at that time put all the links down below. Jack, you might want to talk to Jack about, how he can help support you and your business in your role. Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking forward to having him on. Is it next week or next couple of weeks or something?
Yeah, next couple of weeks, Mike. And again, so Jack Nolan is a very young guy. He suffered from his own mental health and he struggled with that, but he's managed to create strategies and tools to help him through that. But very similar to you, Jack Wright, he's got that drive and that passion, because I know that actually the course that you went on, the mental health sort of first responder course, you did it yourself. It wasn't your employer, your DMS, although I know that, your organization support this fully, but you did it yourself. You did it off your own back. You're a young guy as well. So I absolutely, if I was wearing a hat, I'd take it off to you, Jack, because this is what it takes. This is all about sharing experiences. Mike, you're right that, I think that guys generally don't tend to talk about it, but it happens to everybody, every gender, every individual, every age. So it's something we need to talk about more. So I massively thank you for attending today, Jack, and talking about, one, your successful level 2 I assume you're going to go on to level 3, or if there is such a level 3, and we'll welcome you back to talk about that. But the more people can talk about that, they can. And actually, those little tips and tools that you just said there, Jack, about not making big deals about it, having open door policy so people don't feel that, they need to go and sit down for a formal meeting, having leaflets about, information around, so people can choose to go and get it at their own right. I think these are really good bits of information, to be honest. So thank you so much for telling us about your story today, Jack.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Yeah, brilliant.
We're coming to the 30-minute mark, so we always try to make it 30 minutes. So apologies, so it's short and sweet this week, Jack, but we will definitely get you back on to talk a little bit more about your DMS as well. You have been a partner of ours for a year or so now, and talk more in depth about not only what you're doing to support your own teams, but your customers as well. Because I know you're a family-run business, you're very supportive of your customer base as well. So we'll welcome you back. We'll put you on another schedule. A couple of little bits before we finish for today is we have a jobs board on our accounts payable hub, which is the mobile app. So even allow me to use mobile apps now, Jack, at my age. So it's the mobile app. We encourage all our members to go and use it. We have a brand new jobs board. The jobs market is starting to become more buoyant. So we are trying to support people to get back into working environments, but also we're trying to support our members, our partners, and our businesses to go and find the quality individuals and staff. So if you've got a job and you're looking for some quality AP or finance staff, let us know. There's no charge at all for our members to go onto the app itself or the jobs board. We'll get them on. We'll promote them out to all our community. Just let us know. I'll put the details down below, but it all starts in the hub. So get yourself on the hub and look at that. Mike, before we wrap up for today, anything else other than thanking young man Jack for jumping into the breach and chatting all things around mental health and well-being today?
Yeah, no, not really. I was just excited to see the categories of awards, and just a big thank you to all of our sponsors, your DMS and others who've contributed and helped make this possible. Because without sponsorship and without our partners actively contributing to help us raise events and raise awareness of best practice and also all of the issues that affect AP and P2P, we wouldn't be able to do it. So that's really all I got to say is just a big thank you. Lovely.
And then finally, Jack, we're going to get back together. I think a friend of mine calls it getting the band back together. So we're going to do some live events very shortly. Our first live event is in November. It's November the 24th. It's going to be held in the Midlands somewhere, secret location. That's secret. They haven't told me where it is. It's half of the day is an update course. So it's basically if you're in AP management and you want to know what's going on in the world of accounts payable in terms of legislation, best practice, you need to attend that half-day course. But we're also getting together for a luncheon for all the top 100 influencers. So it's the first one of 2021. And next year, over the next few weeks, we will announce that our conferences, we'll give the pre-warn for that one. We will be going bigger and better as always. But actually, you know what? We're loving the thought about getting people back together in face-to-face environments, person to person. So we've got some really exciting stuff planned for next year. But we have a little conference in the between on October the 19th. You've got to be there. This year's exceptional. We've got a brilliant lineup. And then, as I say, it's called the Accounts Payable Managers Leaders Toolkit for 2022. Exceptional lineup, exceptional set of stuff that people can download and get involved. And it's all about the community. So if you can, have a look at the website. It's apcon.online. We'll put the details just in case I've got that wrong. But thank you so much for today, Jack. You've been exceptional. You've been a star. And please keep up the good work. Keep us up to date with your progress. We like and share and we follow you guys on LinkedIn. I know that you guys are very active on that platform as well. So if you haven't, check out their LinkedIn page. It's exceptional. Your marketing stuff is exceptional, I've got to be honest. So keep doing up the great work. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll wrap up there.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.